Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Welcome back to an absolutely wild day of the OS World Cup 2023 quarterfinals. We're back with another matchup that I think a lot of people might not have expected to see in the losers bracket round 3. Top 16 already guaranteed for both Ukraine and China in this matchup. It is time for a rematch from last year in the World Cup 2022. These two teams going at it once again with some slightly different rosters this time around here in 2023. I'm Dio. I'm going to be casting this match alongside the wonderful iFlame. Good morning, iFlame.
Good morning. Unexpected matchup indeed. I don't think anyone expected Ukraine to make it this far, but they've been putting up good performance after good performance week after week off the back of performances by players such as Dench especially, but even from NetWhyNot and OQ, who have really stepped up, put up some big scores for Ukraine. And of course, China, a very well-known roster. Crystal has been a beast, as he is every single OWC. Along with David Karumi and Milk Tea have been the core there. This is an interesting matchup stylistically. Pick bans. Both these teams have banned out, so Ukraine banned out the No Mod 2 reading map. China banned out Hidden 2. But neither of these teams really like the Hidden at all. Ukraine, in their match against Thailand, played all 3 hidden maps and lost all of them. All 3 points lost by Ukraine were on the hidden picks. And China hasn't played a single hidden map all tournament outside of qualifiers, so would like to see them move away from those hidden bans and change their focus a little bit.
Yeah, you look at some of the direct score comparisons for both of these teams from their previous matchup. Again, these teams have already played a match in the quarterfinals with Ukraine taking down Thailand and China taking down Norway previously. You look at the map scores from yesterday, and it paints a really interesting story of China actually being far better on speed than Ukraine, who have been a pretty good mechanics roster overall, aside from when it comes to that speed, stamina, and the DT2 slot. So we may see Ukraine maybe pick into that slot against China here, alongside that DT1, where Ukraine actually still has the overall top score for the weekend, the only team above 4 million team score, and that is actually going to be banned out by China. So no worries for them there about that DT1 team score. You can also maybe expect Ukraine to ban out stuff like the Hard Rock 2, where China has the number 1 team score, or maybe something like the DT4, where China is number 3 overall on the leaderboard. Same for something like the No Mod 2, which Ukraine has not had a good time on. Again, neither of these teams particularly happy about playing hidden, but Ukraine in particular also not very happy about playing that No Mod reading pick.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if we're just going to see that free mod 4 ban from China now that you mentioned. Ukraine looked amazing on it yesterday, but they're going to go for the No Mod 3 instead. This one is a bit of a surprise, not played by either team yesterday, so China just have a feeling that Ukraine are going to be the better team this time around. And Ukraine is going to look towards the DTs. They've been picking the DTs, the free mods, all of yesterday. They look great on them, and it's going to be Paranoia. So they are going right into the speed, which China has looked quite comfortable on as well.
Yeah, but unfortunately for China, when you look at the scores from yesterday, they were number 14 of 16 teams on this map, despite being number 4 of 12 on DT3 and number 3 of 20 on the DT4. So this is a very different story in terms of the comfort on speed for China as compared to the other speed maps in this pool. And I think it's that lower BPM but still speed focused stamina requirement on this map. You look at players like Dench for Ukraine, for example, super comfortable on that free mod 3 that we saw yesterday from them. So I think you're going to be able to see a lot of the mechanics and tapping players come in for Ukraine on this pick and be probably more comfortable than the members of China, but if they can high roll, this is still break pointable for China here.
Yeah, it was 2.5 million for China yesterday, and Ukraine evidently think they can beat that, and I would tend to agree. But China can put up some better scores. There was no one player who was massively struggling on the pick. Their lowest was around 500k, which comes down to a couple misses at various points in the map. So if China has a good day, they can certainly put up a better score, but Ukraine going to be the favorites heading into this one. They've got their core here of Dench, Net Why Not, I think that is, Raf GPO, and Shiritori.
Yeah, I don't think any surprises here for the roster for either of these teams. Z numbers coming in for China alongside Mid-C. These are kind of their speed players alongside one of or two of Milk Tea, Crystal, and Kurumi. I think David tends to sit out on these stamina-focused maps a lot more often than those three do. So, going to be getting into the first map here. It's Ukraine versus China, seed 24 out of qualifiers. Still alive here in the top 16, looking to try to upset seed 16. Winner of this match is top 12. Loser is eliminated from the OS World Cup 2023. The stakes are set. The stage is set. Let's get into the first map of the match. It's an early act lead for China, but not much else to start things off here, as everyone on Ukraine still holding the full combo. So, actually a couple of misses here. Raf GPO and Mid-C starting off with a couple of misses very early on into the map, but probably won't amount to all that much.
Yeah, and this map only gets harder as the map goes on, so building up these early combos, getting that lead early on is going to be so important, because as the stamina runs out towards the end of the map, we're going to start to see a lot more misses. And there goes Raf GPO yet again.
Another miss for Ukraine on this map, and there goes Kurumi to match it on the side of China, though. So now it's 3 FCs for Ukraine, only 2 for China on Milk Tea and Z numbers. Roman will miss. I believe that is Leppen and not Net Why Not. I can't tell. There's only one of them in the lobby right now. A little difficult to tell at the moment. But it is still 2 full combos, 2-2 right now. Dench and Sharitori for Ukraine versus Milk Tea and Z numbers for China. A bit of a better recovered combo for Mid-C, as Raf GPO continuing to find misses on this map, really not having the best of times on this DT2. And, you know, we talked about China not having the best of scores yesterday, but a different day and a little bit more practice in match especially can make all the difference when Ukraine didn't actually play the map yesterday. Z numbers will find the drop, and that is one of the full combos down for China now. It's only Milk Tea left standing alone for this roster, but with the huge combo for Mid-C, it's going to be enough to keep the score lead relatively close. It is on Ukraine's side for now, with the double FC for Dench and Sharitori going strong, and a bit of that supporting combo for Roman built up as well, matching Kurumi's combo on the side of China. But there goes Sharitori, and that is huge for Ukraine. Kurumi will drop as well. So it's a trade of combos, but combo advantage to China going into the ending.
That trade's going to favor China massively, and this ending is so tricky. Stamina starts to run towards the end of the map. Everything is on Dench right now. Roman needs to hold onto the combo as well, and they need, realistically, 2 misses at this point.
Will there be enough? Raf GPO to miss as well for Ukraine. Mid-C will drop for China. That is one of the big combos gone now. One of those big supporting scores is no longer there. Is it going to be enough, though? It's still 40k for China. Just a sliver of map left. Sharitori to miss again for Ukraine, and that's going to do it. China will be able to take the first point. Milk Tea with the full combo, clutching it out against the matching FC for Dench, keeping China in this one. And it ends up coming down to the supporting scores. Mid-C making the difference there. 816k on the day. 1 miss and only 1 slider break for Z numbers as well. Really good scores there. Super unfortunate for both Sharitori and Roman, putting up above 700k. But it's the supporting team scores for China and the 4-person roster that ends up making just a sliver of difference on the first pick for Ukraine.
Yeah, China just got the high roll on that one. Improving their score from yesterday by about 500,000, the double S rank, as opposed to, I believe, none yesterday. And now China has the next pick, has the chance to bring this one to a 2-0 lead. And I'm looking at that Hard Rock 2, but they're going to go for Hidden 2 instead.
This is really interesting, right? Ukraine banning out the Nomad reading against China, and China obviously not liking the Hidden. Neither of these teams liking the Hidden all that much. But Ukraine bottom scoring Hidden 1, Hidden 2 yesterday, and only getting number 5 of 8 on the Hidden 3 yesterday. So a team that was forced to play Hidden and did not have a good time, right? And if your practice scores are better than the team scores for Ukraine by a relatively wide margin on the side of China, I think you can be pretty comfortable picking into something like this first. But we saw how that worked out for Ukraine on the double time too, right? China near the bottom of the leaderboard on that map, counting yesterday's scores, and Ukraine ending up losing the pick by 54K. So if you're rooting for China, you have to hope that that doesn't happen here. If you're rooting for a close match, you're looking for a repeat of what we just saw.
Yeah, that's exactly the idea. China, they don't like the hidden, but they can look at Ukraine's scores and say, hey, you know what? We're better than those guys, so we'll pick anyways. I'm not sure I have the same confidence here. Ukraine has been very much fourth player syndromed on the hidden 2. Anavel as well as Net Why Not actually both got 250,000 on the pick yesterday. And if you're getting 500,000, that's the difference between an NFC and a break in the middle of the map. 250,000 is just absolute struggle. And so Ukraine is going to need a very big performance, or China to underperform is a possibility as well. But they do have Magnata in today, along with Anavel once again.
Yeah, Anavel renaming to Erema there in the top left corner for Ukraine. And already it's the struggle bus for multiple members in this lobby. Magnata Gamer, David, Milk Tea, Z Numbers, Roman, all missing here early on. It's full combos for My Angel Anzu, Sharitori, and Erema so far. A little bit of a lead to Ukraine at the moment. There goes Erema's full combo. And you're going to expect lots and lots of misses on this map. It's, I think, more so important to look at the accuracy, to look at any big combos that we have. And accuracy on the big combos for China is far better than the ACK on Sharitori for Ukraine right now.
Yeah, and I think those big combos are going to be few and far between right now. It is really just David, who is that kind of go-to HD player for China that has the big combo along with Angel. And it is Sharitori, but there goes another miss from Anavel.
Yeah, we've got Sharitori and Roman holding on a pretty big combo for Ukraine and a bit of a recovered combo for Magnata. So it's going to keep things close between these two teams right now. Z Numbers and Milk Tea having a bit of trouble on this one. These sorts of awkward aim, low AR hidden picks are often thought of as relatively easy, but when you get star rating above 6 on a pick like this, it becomes way, way more difficult. That added mechanical strain does so much to force misses out of people. There goes David, there goes Milk Tea, there goes Magnata, all on the Ki time. And remember to follow suit, Z Numbers and My Angel Anzu alongside David, all missing. It's a full reset for China within the last 150 combo. Sharitori to hold for Ukraine, making 100,000 score difference out of thin air as everyone else in the lobby drops in short order, and it's Sharitori to pick up the mantle for this team and to cause yet another repeat of what we just saw. iFlame, we talked about it before the map started. If you're rooting for a close match, you're rooting for a repeat of what just happened to Ukraine on the DT2, and they're looking to put it right back in China's face on this hidden 2.
Yeah, it is Sharitori once again had the highest score for Ukraine yesterday, but this time improving that score by about 200,000. Everybody else improving slightly as well, and that's going to be enough for Ukraine. So we've got breakpoints traded back and forth, and to be fair, China didn't have much of a higher score than Ukraine did yesterday. They would have beat the previous score by about 300,000. And so risky pick not working out this time around, and it's all tied up.
It's that extra practice, right? Playing the same map 2 days in a row. Speaking from tournament experience, you almost always perform better the second time around. It's the extra practice on the map first and foremost, but also the practice having played it in a real lobby that helps out so much. And both of these teams far and away improving their scores from yesterday on 2 of their worst performances to start things out. And I think that's the level we expect these teams to play up to, right? These are both teams who I think play up to their opponents a lot of the time. And if both of them are playing well, I think we're going to be able to see really good scores out of both squads in this match, which is what makes this matchup really exciting. I think a lot of people probably are predicting China to win this match just by virtue of the strength of their core roster and the overall seeding from qualifiers. But Ukraine has shown us time and time again that they are a team that plays better in the bracket stage and that can pop off when it matters most. So This is it's going to be an interesting match here. We're going to go back into tapping for Ukraine into the free mod 3 with Capriccio in my mind.
Yeah, this was Ukraine's first pick yesterday, and they sure played well on it. They had a great performance, and I believe China has played this one as well. Nope, it's the one free mod China did not play, but it was Dench getting the number 1. Unless someone did better in one of the previous 2 matches, Dench currently has the top score on the free mod 3 with the Hard Rock, getting an FC yesterday. So they're going to be relying on Dench to put up a big score on this one. Sherry Tori was huge on the no mod as well with a 700k. And so China needs to put up some big scores, but they have Crystal, and Crystal puts up big scores all weekend long. Likely going to be playing the Hard Rock for China.
Yeah, we did not see China play this yesterday. In fact, China played none of the free mod picks yesterday, so this is the first time we're going to see this roster on any free mod pick. I am interested to see which of these members will go the hidden for China. This is kind of notoriously a team that really prefers the Hard Rock on the side of China. It looks like Survivor X4 coming in for them, Dench coming back in for Ukraine, as expected, as you already said. So I'm interested to see exactly what the mod combinations are going to be. I think we may see some overmodding from these squads. We saw Ukraine overmod Hard Rock yesterday on both Dench and Lepin, Roman with the 0. We do see Shari Tori coming in once again for Ukraine. Did play this map yesterday. And Raf GPO subbing in for... again, I can't tell whether that's Lepin or Net Why Not, the Roman in the bottom left. But, I think that's Lepin, so I think Raf GPO subbing in for Net Why Not in this one. So we'll see how it goes here. No overmod for Ukraine this time around. Just 1 Hard Rock and 1 hidden on Dench and Roman, respectively. 1 hidden, 1 Hard Rock for David and Survivor, respectively, on the side of China.
And yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Net Why Not, because Lepin does prefer the Hard Rock on this free mod pick. So with the hidden, I'm pretty sure that's Net Why Not.
I'll see how Net Why Not's able to do on this one. Looking good so far at the start, holding the SS through the intro alongside Milk Tea for the side of China on that no mod. This is a square jump. So many people on hidden have trouble with them, and there goes Net Why Not as well for Ukraine. Couple of early misses, though, on the side of China. Going to keep things relatively close. The early miss for Crystal, the early miss for David, matching those early misses from Shari Tori and Net Why Not on the side of Ukraine. It's Dench, Raf GPO, Survivor, and Milk Tea to hold on to the full combos so far in this map.
Yeah, and we should be getting into a little bit more of the streamy section here. So we'll see if those claim anyone after this burst. And here we go. This is where it gets a lot harder for the Hard Rock players, the hidden players especially, as we start to see lots of cuts. And this map only gets harder as we get farther and farther into the map. But right now it is just Ukraine off to a solid 100,000 point lead roughly.
Yeah, multiple breaks for China in this first more difficult section of the map where these streams really come into play. Nobody missing on the finger control there. There's actually an even note stream in this whole section. Milk Tea missing right at the end after holding a double S through the intro is very sad for China. That's your one big combo left on the map. Your only FC gone now, so this becomes way more difficult to stage a comeback on. 2 FCs for Dench and Raf GPO. Big combo on Shari Tori and Roman as well, and Survivor missing once again means this is looking pretty doomed already, I'd claim. It's Crystal with a big recovered combo, David missing on the only other combo for China, and I think Ukraine has their number on this one. You pop off yesterday, you may as well just go pick it again, and this is just a clinic. China missing kind of all over the place in the middle of the map here, and no combo remaining for their side as we see the two-way FC and reverse choke still intact for Ukraine. Big recovered combo on Roman as well. Not even a chance that China takes this, I think, at this point.
Yeah, these are 4 massive combos on the side of Ukraine. They could be looking for that top team score on the map at this point. And there's, like you mentioned, there's no combo on China. This one is over. The question is now, are we going to see Dench FC a second time on the Hard Rock?
I would be super down to see Dench 2-time FC this. FC both times in match. Raf GPO also holding this no mod FC with really good act, by the way. Sharitori does find the miss on the Nomad there for Ukraine, so not going to be able to pull off the full combo or reverse choke for Sharitori or a Dench now with that miss going into the ending here, but it just won't matter at all. Roman and Rap GPO with such good combo, such good accuracy going into the end here. FC still intact for Rap GPO, in fact. So there's just not any chance that China wins this. Let's just look forward to seeing how good these scores from Ukraine can get. How much of a gap can they make here at the end of the map as multiple misses come through once again for the members of China. David and Survivor having a little bit more trouble with the ending here. Milk Tea dropping as well. It's only Crystal holding for China. Raf GPO will drop the last full combo there. Roman's a hold on the hidden in the ending here, though. 99.9% accuracy with just the early miss on this reverse choke is just ridiculous on hidden. This is a really, really difficult section with the flow aim spike at the ending. Roman finally finds a miss, but it's still 99.7 AC, over 800k on the score, 2.8 million team score, and over a 1 mil score difference for Ukraine here. Really, really nice pick.
Yeah, and that's going to be 1x100, 4 misses for Roman. That is almost unheard of on a stream pick.
To be fair, this is OD8, so it is, I think, more doable on this than almost any other stream pick in modern map pools, but look at the accuracy for everybody else in the lobby and tell me that's not some incredible hack. 1x100 compared to the next best is 10 100s from Milk Tea. That's some really crazy hack. Very well done from Roman.
And China, not dissuaded by the hidden 2 pick. They're going to go right into the HD3, and so despite Ukraine's previous performance, they still think they're the better hidden team, and they're going to be going into Rasan. This is going to be your alt-focused pick. I do think this is a great pick for China. You have players like Crystal, as well as David, who are very, very good at these alt-style picks.
And aim control for China is kind of the name of the game, right? Like, this is a roster that is not necessarily a gimmick team in the traditional sense where you talk about gimmick as like low approach rate, super high circle size, overlap stack reading. Like, this is not necessarily their forte, but when it comes to non-standard maps, especially in the Hard Rock pool, but still in the Hidden pool, in the Free Mod pool, in the Nomad pool, tech maps, alt maps, finger control, aim control in general, that is their jam. They are always really, really strong on these sorts of picks, even in comparison to a lot of teams that are seeded higher than them in the World Cup, or that are seeded higher than what is usually a full stack China roster in lots of international tournaments throughout the year. This is a roster that plays together throughout the year in community tournaments and comes back even stronger for OWC every single year. So looking forward to seeing what they can do on a pick like this, where the flow aim and the snappy aim control is tested very heavily with hidden applied.
Yeah, and this is kind of a pretty standard pick in terms of evolve. There's no crazy patterns that are super uncomfortable that are going to be catching players out, so a team like China that is so consistent on these alt picks are going to have a good time with it. We did see both Rap GPO and Anavel struggle on this map yesterday, so I think we're going to have to look to them for some better scores if Ukraine wants to take this one, but we've seen them do it on the Hidden 2. Can they do it again? Get another break point? That would be 4 in a row, Dio. And into the map we go. It's a very early miss from Net Why Not.
Not quite 4 in a row breakpoints. We did see Ukraine win their last pick, so let's hope China can win this one and keep us tied up here. If you're rooting for a close game, you're rooting for China to win their own pick here, but unfortunately an early miss for My Angel Anzu, going to make that a little bit more difficult. Again, probably won't impact too much. The accuracy alone keeping the score lead on China's side right now, despite the combo advantage for Ukraine. This map will really pick up when we get to a couple of the key eye times, especially about halfway through.
Yeah, it's a fairly easy start to the map, gives all the players a chance to settle in. We do see Rap GPO finding an early miss. That's going to be the first big one, so China is going to be off to the lead as no one trades it back, and Angel is on a pretty nice recovery now. There goes Net Why Not as well, so 4 big combos to 1 as it's Anavel finds the next miss for Ukraine.
Yeah, if Free Mod is Ukraine's domain, then in this matchup at least, Hidden is going to be part of China's. This is a team that you don't normally see this team pick into Hidden or Hidden Alt in particular, but I think against Ukraine, who is definitely more uncomfortable than most on this sort of thing, China's going to be feeling pretty good about this pick most of the way through the map. Still 3 full combos intact. Another couple of breaks for Roman and Raf GPO. Buying Jalanzu on the reverse choke compared to just Shari Tori on the full combo and a little bit of combo on Enable for Ukraine right now. This is China showing some dominance in much the same fashion we saw for Ukraine on the free mod 3. This hidden 3, I'm not going to say over already, but that FC and a 4-way wipe. A little bit of a delayed 4-way wipe for Ukraine there with, actually only 1 full combo left for China, but the score lead iFlame is already 600k. David and Milk Tea have done enough. It's all good to leave it to Crystal at this point.
Yeah, the big combo is gone from Ukraine. They don't have anything to make a recovery with, their highest being 300 on Raf GPO, so does look like China are going to be taking this one back, evening things up. And China, we could see a FC from Crystal here. End of the map, not easy though.
Yeah, ending of the map, definitely the hardest part. Hardest KI time yet in the last quarter of the map. Luckily for Crystal, this time around, it's not a tense situation. It's not a nerve-wracking situation to be full comboing here. You already know your team's winning the pick. Even if you miss, there's no harm, no foul for China. So Crystal able to just focus on hitting the map. No nerves allowed here in the ending, and Crystal is going to just pop off on this map. Next best score is 670k or so from David. No troubles for Crystal to pull out the FC here. 990k on the full combo with pretty good accuracy as well. Actually, worst 100 count on the side of China, but the only full combo for Crystal. We talk about clutch genes kind of ironically here in OS, as most of the time you don't see the opposing team's scores during the match, but if there's ever a player who really has it, it's got to be Crystal, right? Crystal is quietly one of the best players across all 4 modes, and at this point, not really quietly anymore, has been lauded for how well they can perform in pretty much any mode, in every World Cup, in community tournaments and standard as well for a while now, and so I think getting a lot of recognition for just how good they really are as of recent.
Yeah, quite over the last couple of years maybe, but after last year's OWC performance along with this one, Crystal has shot into the spotlight for this Chinese roster. Ukraine has the next pick. We could very well see them go back to the free mod, something like the free mod 4 they look good on, but it depends how consistent they're feeling on that pick. They did get one of the better scores in the tournament on it, but China only 500,000 points behind, and they left it up until their last pick to go for that free mod 4. So it's very possible they may feel more comfortable on something like the GT4 Spiral 2005, but I think that's a risky one up against China.
Yeah, China with a pretty good score on Spiral 2005 yesterday. In fact, they had the number 3 team score on that map yesterday with almost 3.8 million. They had the number 4 team score on DT3 yesterday as well with 2.7 million, but the gap between number 1 and everybody else, between Indonesia and everyone else, is pretty huge. Unfortunately for Ukraine, I really don't like this pick at the moment. You compare the team scores from yesterday, it's China with 2.7 million, Ukraine with just under 2 million, so an over 700k advantage for China on paper in this map. But you never know the team scores, you never know how they were feeling yesterday versus how they're feeling today. We've seen the team scores for both of these teams go up since they've already played a match yesterday. Especially when it comes to maps they've already played. So we'll see if Ukraine can far outdo their previous team score on this map, because they're probably going to need it versus China here.
They're going to have to, and I think they're going to be relying on Why Not, who put up 730k yesterday with 97 accuracy. If you look at all the other accuracies between these two teams, it was pretty much all 95 and below. So they're going to be putting kind of all their eggs in the Why Not basket here, hoping for some stronger supporting combos than they got yesterday. It is a very short map, so 1 or 2 breaks can really cut the score, but yeah, this one's risky knowing that China put up a 2.7 million on it, and they can improve as well, right?
Yeah, on paper, I really don't like this pick, just honestly speaking. I would, even if you feel good on speed today, I would probably save this for later, especially considering you already lost the DT2, right? yes, you win on the 3mod 3, but that is very different as a map from something like this DT3, and DT2, frankly, more similar despite the BPM difference. So definitely a little confused at the pick from Ukraine here, but we'll see if it works out for them and whether their team scores on the practice sheet are more indicative of something more from this roster on the double time 3. It's Rap GPO, Roman, Shari Tori, and Dench to come in here. Netwhy not Roman for the side of Ukraine. Kurumi, Milk Tea, Mid C, and Z numbers for China on this map to try to replicate some of the scores they had yesterday on this one.
Yep. Go-to speed roster for China, and this is one that I feel China might have liked to pick later in the match had Ukraine not picked it, so they're going to be pretty happy with this one. And this is a bit of a not necessarily as stamina intensive as the DT3, so we won't see quite as much difficulty later on into the map. As we do see some big combos early on. There goes Z numbers, going to find the first miss for China, so Ukraine do get off to an early advantage. There goes a Milk Tea as well.
iFlame, what is this match? The picks that look good on paper end up being breakpoints, and the pick that looks bad on paper, I mean, a 700 score difference for China looking at yesterday's scores, right, compared to Ukraine's. Ends up being, at the start at least, really good for Ukraine. 4 full combos to 2. Kurumi and Mitzi still holding on here for China, though, so it's not over and done quite yet, but the accuracy telling a story all its own here, very comfortable for all 4 members of Ukraine, whereas Kurumi kind of holding on by a thread here with the 93% accuracy, combo gaming his way through. Roman and Shari Tori will find misses here in the second PI time for Ukraine, so combo now in favor of China with Milk Tea and Z numbers still holding on to those supporting combos on the right-hand side of the screen. It's Raf, GPO, and Dench to try and stave off the advance from China. There goes Kurumi, though. That's one of the 2 full combos gone for China. And Mid-C dropping as well. It's now just Raf, GPO, and Dench running the show for Ukraine on this pick. Dench, three-way reset for Ukraine, though. All the full combos are gone. Z numbers still holding on for China alongside Milk Tea and Shari Tori, the only combo for Ukraine right now. It's a 200,000 score lead, but this could go over extremely quickly. The accuracy for those 2 big combos on the side of China is good enough. They should be able to force this down to the wire. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough, but it's going over pretty quickly. Now half the score difference that we saw at the start of this section. Can they hold on? Can they force the breakpoint here? And it goes over to China. Milk Tea and Z numbers make it happen at the end of the map. The 3-way reset is devastating for Ukraine, and China pull the breakpoint out of their hat.
And a massive improvement from Ukraine. They hit the 2.7 million. They would have beat China's score from yesterday by about 20,000 points here, but China improves their own score by about 30,000 and take the break point. So I guess the paper is right again.
Yeah, unfortunate for Ukraine. Their massive improvement over yesterday's team score, but China able to match it. 3-way 700K for the Chinese roster with Milk Tea and Z numbers coming back near the end of the map with a vengeance and making it happen here for Team Blue in this matchup. Not the underdog in terms of seeding, but Ukraine really forcing them to pull out all the stops in this one, and that is now 2 breakpoints on double time for China. A roster that we usually see avoid the tapping is now actually winning it versus Ukraine here, who has honestly had a pretty good time with it versus teams like Indonesia, teams in the losers bracket last week as well. So this is an interesting one here. We'll see where they want to go from here, and it is going to be the 3rd hidden pick in a row for China in the hidden 1. Awkward aim and a couple of really difficult flow aim stream sections in this map.
Yeah, and China is in a great spot right now. They are just sticking to the hidden abuse, and keep in mind, the hidden is not a skill set they've played a single time outside of qualifiers up until this match. And now that they're out of hiddens, they're going to have the hard rocks to look to as well. Their position that they've looked so good on as well. So it is definitely a little bit scary for Ukraine that China hasn't even tapped into what is usually one of their stronger skill sets in that hard rock. But to be fair, Ukraine does have the free mod still, so they are far from out of it as we get into this hidden 1.
It's a relatively long pick, very focused on the wide angle jumps and relatively uncomfortable aim in this map. With that being the main focus, there is that stream section about halfway or 2/3 of the way through the map where you'll see probably a lot of people break. It's relatively comfortable streams, but when you've been focusing on the aim so much and the nerves get to you in that section, it becomes very easy to miss aim on one of those streams, especially at 200 BPM. You have to be on point. And this map is still relatively combo dense at AR 9.3. I think a lot of newer players will find AR 9.3 200 BPM with hidden to be relatively dense for sure. So some players may struggle with the reading aspect a little bit on this map.
This map has some pretty tough spikes as well, so if we see a few players hold on through those spikes, then they're going to be in a good spot. We do see 2 early misses traded from both countries, and okay, there's a lot of misses actually. 2 FCs to 2 now. GPO, Sherry Tori, Angel, Crystal, and David, hold on. I haven't even gotten to the hardest section of the map, let alone the hard section at all. It's been relatively easy to start, and though potentially concerning things from both teams, luckily it is fairly even, just a small accuracy lead for China.
About even on the combos with those early resets for now. As you said, Crystal, David holding on for China. First KI time now to start. Shari Tori going to miss immediately alongside David and Milk Tea for China. Mindjalanzu also dropping on China's side, so it's 3 combos to just the lone full combo standing for Crystal on the side of China. I've seen this story before, though, and sometimes that lone full combo can make the difference. Net Why Not will drop for Ukraine, but it's Raf GPO on the full combo. No longer, actually. Raf GPO missing there. Rema holding for Ukraine. That's the only big combo. And I said I've seen this before. Crystal, the one full combo might just be enough, and for now it is. Keeping the score on the side of China by a slim margin, only about 20k at the moment. And there goes Crystal's full combo in the slow section, actually. So now it's all down to the supporting combos. Arema on the best combo in the lobby at the moment. Milk Tea and David holding for China. Shari Tori also holding a supporting combo for Ukraine. And I believe it's after this we get into the streams.
Yep, this has caught out so many combos. This is where Anavel needs to hold on. There goes Raf GPO, Crystal, Milk Tea, Angel, Sherry Tori now. 2 big combos left on Ukraine, just the one for China. And the big combos make it through that stream section. They just need to hold on a little bit longer and they can secure this one. They haven't built up quite enough score lead, though. It's only 40,000. It is growing.
We'll see if they can keep it on the side of Ukraine here. Rema and Roman holding on for their team. It's only David with combo for China. There goes Roman. Rema now has to hold as this score lead, you said it, iFlame, is not big enough to secure the win with a quarter of the map remaining and only a 50k score lead, and dropping rapidly, actually, with more misses for Roman, Raf GPO, and Shari Tori. This ending so combo dense with all the streams. Milk Tea's going to drop, but it's going to be good for China. Rema to drop the combo as well, and now it's the David show here. Crystal and Maya Angelanzu is back in combo, and David holding on to this big 800, 900 combo now. Maya Angelanzu will drop, but no combo whatsoever on the side of Ukraine to take advantage of any potential drops here near the end of the map for China. It's a still pretty tenuous score lead, though. There goes Crystal as well with a chain miss. So it's all on David's shoulders here. He has to hold, and if David can't hold this, then China is in a pretty shaky position with Raf GPO and Shari Tori building up some combo on the side of Ukraine as well. But that score lead now up near 100. There goes David, though. We'll see if that 100k score lead is enough of a buffer or not for China to take this pick. And Raf GPO, Shari Tori still holding. Milk Tea and Maya Angelanzu trying to stave off the advance by however much they can. There goes Shari Tori for the side of Ukraine. And now it's the score lead way back in the favor of China. Well over 100k again, or just over 100k, excuse me. But even with those misses from, David, Maya Angelanzu, and Crystal all miss at the same time. Is it going to be enough to give it over to Ukraine? I'm not sure. The initial score drop does so much and brings the lead down to about 50k, but it's not enough. China will hold on to the win. Milk Tea clutching it out at the end, and David putting up the massive 1k combo for China there, matching the score coming out of Arema.
4-2 for China now, and this has been such an incredibly close match. So many maps decided by less than 100,000 points, and it was just came down to those misses at the ending. If anyone could have held on for Ukraine for another 50-100 combo, they very possibly could have taken the map. They do have another pick here. And I think it's time, Dio, for them to move away from the DTs. They have not had any luck on them so far. It's time to go for the free mods. They have the free mod 4 open still. I think that's going to be the best option for them. Free mod 1 and free mod 2 could potentially be picks later, but I think they should save those for the time being.
Yeah, I have to agree. Probably the free mod 4. I could see free mod 2 being the pick for Ukraine here as well. I don't think you want to pick Hard Rock into China, especially with this roster. The fact that it's all still open does not bode super well for Ukraine, but there are a lot of good Hard Rock players on the side of Ukraine as well. Both teams relatively strong at that mod in particular, but Ukraine definitely preferring the free mod. Put a couple of hidden players on the hidden and put a couple Hard Rock players on the Hard Rock. Make sure everybody's comfortable with the maps that you're playing. Kind of been the strategy for this roster, and it is actually going to be that free mod 2, all flow aim focused here in the 160 BPM. Some people would call it alt, some people would call it low BPM streams. At the end of the day, it's 160 BPM flow aim. Lots of accel, decel, a couple wiggle streams here and there, and really, really comfortable map overall, despite the BPM maybe having you think otherwise.
Yep. So we're going to see Dench on the Hard Rock here, should be joining the lobby shortly. And it is Sherry Tori on the hidden. Now, yesterday, big score for Ukraine was once again Dench on that Hard Rock with 800k. I imagine we're going to be seeing David on the hidden for China. Not sure who takes the Hard Rock though. We've seen multiple players be very comfortable on the Hard Rock. I don't think this is the kind of map that you see. I have seen a few teams overmod it, but it's certainly very risky. I don't think it's paid off for a lot of teams, so there's a good chance we'll just see China take the 2 mods here, possibly the Hard Rock on Crystal.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Hard Rock on either Crystal or Milk Tea. With David in the lobby, maybe he could take the hidden for China as well. Although Crystal has been performing really well on the hidden so far today, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see Crystal on either mod for China here. Raf GPO, Sharitori, and Lepin, that is Roman with the 0 in the bottom right there for Ukraine. With Sharitori in the lobby, I'm thinking we're going to see hidden there for Ukraine.
It'll be Dench Hard Rock.
Yeah, and Dench Hard Rock for sure, as Dench finally coming in for this map on the side of Ukraine. Mid-C coming in to fill out the roster for China. I think we'll probably just see Crystal and Milk Tea take the mods for this team, hoping to put some good scores on the no-mod players in David and Mid-C on their roster. And as you said, probably the Dench Hard Rock and likely to be Charitori hidden for Ukraine. We'll see exactly what the mod combo is.
I'll be shocked if it isn't. And there it is. Pretty much as expected, we have got David and Milk Tea on the hidden and Hard Rock respectively, and of course Dench Hard Rock, but it is an overmod for Ukraine, taking the second Hard Rock on, I think that's Lapin this time, not now why not.
Yeah.
And so, did play it no mod yesterday and put up 430,000, so I guess looking for a comparable score on the Hard Rock, if not better. We'll see if that pays off for them. Might be a risk worth taking, as we do see an early miss out of both Sharitori and Raf GPO, so early lead to China, but it is a decently long map. The ending of this map is absolutely brutal, so these early combos are going to be really important, as now it's Lepin who finds a miss, and all of a sudden there's only one combo left on Dench for Ukraine, and they're in a tricky spot if you don't see some misses from China shortly.
Yeah, especially the comfort for Raf GPO just not looking there on this sort of map. Multiple misses coming out already. And as you said, 3 full combos for China holding strong right now. David on the hidden, the only player to have missed so far for this Chinese roster, and that was at the very beginning of the map. He may as well be on the FC as well, versus just Dench holding on the Hard Rock for Ukraine. Dench has been a key performer this weekend for them so far, but just cannot carry with only one FC against the three-way holding strong for China right now. And we talk about China as a team that really likes stuff like flow aim, stuff like aim control, stuff like alt maps. This is what we're talking about. Crystal will find a miss on the Nomad, but it's still effectively three full combos holding strong for China here. Milk Tea, David, and Midsi all holding with 3 different mods as well, and this is just kind of disastrous as a start for Ukraine. 300k score lead already halfway through the map. Midsi will drop on the Nomad there. Just the 2 modded players holding for China now. Dench on the full combo, still holding strong for Ukraine, and there's good recovery on Rap GPO and Roman now. Shari Tori going to drop a big chain miss there, though, and drop a lot of accuracy in the process, so we'll give a little bit more score over to China. And you know, as long as these 2 full combos hold, there's not much that these supporting scores for Ukraine can do.
If they can hold on to their combos, though, they can potentially keep it close enough to make the comeback into the ending, but they're going to need to get that score much closer than it is now. The really tricky ending comes too late to make up a score lead of this size, so they need one of those big combos to fall off soon, and realistically, they need to all hit the very hard ending if they want to win this one. Things are looking dire, but, you know, mathematically, they're not out of it yet. Shari Tori finds another miss, is not going to be helping them out.
And it's still looking relatively close at this point, but there goes Roman on the Hard Rock, and I think that might just be the final nail in the coffin on this map for Ukraine. China looking to take yet another breakpoint in this match. There goes Rap GP on the Nomad as well. Crystal will finally drop. Dench drops the last remaining full combo for Ukraine. The 1 FC in the lobby is on Milk Tea with Hard Rock, and he will finish it out with the full combo on HR. David as well with the 2 miss reverse choke on Hidden, putting up a better score than Dench was able to do for Ukraine as well. It's just dominance across the board here for China with a bunch of really good scores for their side, and very good scores as well for Dench and Raf GPO, but unfortunately just not enough in comparison to effectively a 2-way full combo for China.
Yeah, there's some absurd Hard Rock performances. We've had no other Hard Rock FCs on the map outside of MCY4 on the Hidden Hard Rock FC, but MCY4 is just a beast, so that one doesn't count. We have got a very, very quick Hard Rock 1 pick for China. No surprises here. This one is some streams, some finger control, but it is mostly that stream focused, and China has looked great on the stream so far. Crystal especially is a fantastic stream player and can definitely put up a big score here. Ukraine, as we mentioned, has some good Hard Rock players, but they are going to be on the back foot for this one, and they're going to be relying a lot on Dench, who has been the go-to Hard Rock player. I think we're going to see Shari Tori sub out, who does tend to be more of that hidden Nomad player for Ukraine in favor of Dench. We do have both the Romans in the lobby. We've got Net Why Not up top, and we have got Lapin down on the bottom left now.
And that looks to be Shari Tori moving out for Dench here on the side of Ukraine as predicted. This is the Hard Rock core roster, though, for China. Crystal and the Lolol gang coming in. This is what teams see in their nightmares when they think of going up against China, is Crystal and 3 laughing players on the other side of the lobby, staring them down, picking Hard Rock into them, and ready to pop off. This is not your everyday average Hard Rock 1 either. This is Altai Stream Tech in the Hard Rock slot with some really, really difficult patterns, lots of fast sliders, a little bit of reading involved in this map as well, despite being in the Hard Rock pool. This is a tough one, and China, again, thrives on these unconventional Hard Rock picks. This is what this team is built to crush everyone else on. So Ukraine in a very tough spot here. They are going to need to see some pop-off scores from multiple members, I think, in order to make it happen and keep their OWC 2023 run alive. This is an elimination match in the loser's bracket. Loser advances to top 12. Or excuse me, winner advances to top 12. Loser is eliminated, tied 13th through 16th with a top 16 finish this time around. Kurumi and Dench to start off with a couple of misses. This map really does not pull any punches. It just comes out of the gate throwing these wiggle streams, cut streams, slider patterns at you immediately, and they are very difficult to adjust to.
Yep, Dench is just getting the nerves out of the way early so you can full combo the rest of the map. And of course, if you forget who the Lulls are, just use !lol in the chat, and we have a nice reminder.
As for the two Romans, we've got NetWhyNot as the top row Roman and Leppin as the bottom row Roman. NetWhyNot can be finding a break there early on in the map. It is still the three-way full combo for China at the moment. Make that two-way as Milk Tea dropping there right before the stream pattern. Crystal and David still holding for China. Raf GPO and Leppin holding for Ukraine. And there goes David. This is actually now going the way of Ukraine. Crystal dropping as well. It's no FCs now for China. And big recovered score for Dench as well as NetWhyNot for Ukraine here. These combos are not small, and with two full combos still alive for Ukraine, you know, those pop-off scores that we said they needed to have are looking to be there.
Oh, and there goes a big combo drop from Kurumi now. That's one big combo left on Milk Tea, and it's falling behind Raf GPO, Dench, and Lappin here. So Ukraine off to a big advantage here. There's a lot of map to be played though. This is a long one, and so they're gonna need to hold on to those combos. NetWhyNot finds a miss, but that wasn't one of their bigger combos. There goes two from Ukraine. It's Dench and Lappin. It is only Raf GPO holding up, trying to fend off Milk Tea here.
And Raf GPO is going to see this at the break. He's going to see he's the only combo remaining for Ukraine. A couple of bigger combos for Crystal. Now only Milk Tea with the bigger combo for China. David and Kurumi on a little bit of a recovery here on the bottom row for China. But Raf GPO, as long as he holds, this score lead is going to stay put for Ukraine. And China, honestly, I think having some rough shakes, maybe low rolling a bit here at the start, because you expect a lot out of this roster on hard rock maps like this. And Ukraine just popping off. Raf GPO playing really well right now, still holding the full combo 2/3 the way through, and good supporting score from the rest of the roster, but unfortunately the combo not there 2/3 the way through. And there goes Raf GPO. The full combo is down for Ukraine. This score lead instantly starts skyrocketing over towards the side of China. It's down from 160k to 50k in an instant. Milk Tea, Kurumi, David, and Crystal all holding combo right now. Nobody on the side of Ukraine can match any of the combos China is putting up here in the back half of the map, and these slider reading patterns with the flow aim built in are so difficult. Ukraine not able to hold on. It was all on Raf GPO's shoulders, and it's just not going to be enough for Ukraine. It seems like China holding on to now 3 combos with that extra miss from Crystal, and that is the strength of this core roster. Yeah, Crystal might drop, even as unexpected as that can be sometimes, but somebody's going to be there to pick up the slack, and in this case, it is Kurumi still holding on even through the further breaks from Milk Tea and David. The rest of Ukraine dropping yet again here near the ending, and now a 200,000 score lead built up by the 4-man squad of China, with Kurumi clutching it out at the end here to put a stop to any hope for Ukraine to continue their run in this World Cup. China advances into the top 12.
Yeah, Dio, this is the China we expected on the Hard Rock 1 pick. They had a rough start to the map, but a beautiful recovery into the end to bring it back and secure themselves that top 12 spot in the semifinals. Next week, they're up against Poland, so pretty rough draw there. We did see Australia beat Poland in the tiebreaker, so maybe China can do the same. We'll have to see. Unfortunately, Ukraine has been eliminated, but they're going to be so happy with their performance in this World Cup. It is, I believe, their best placement in the OSU World Cup since 2014, and so coming in as that lower seed, upsetting many teams that most people would not have predicted them to beat from the start of this tournament. Good stuff from them. But again, congratulations to China.
Yeah, one match away from tying their best ever performance is Ukraine, but China putting a stop to it here in losers bracket round 3, knocking them out, advancing into top 12. China looking for now their best performance since 2016. They have tied their 2020 performance now with this top 12 finish. And if they are able to beat Poland in next weekend's losers bracket match, that's a big if. Poland is one of the favorites to win the tournament originally. So China going to have, I think, a tough bracket next week. But if they are able to do so, they'll have secured their best OWC performance since 2016, where they were second place. Have you heard the good news, though, iFlame?
I have not. Enlighten us, Dio.
I have two pieces of good news. First, we've got another match coming up in about 35 minutes. It'll be France versus Sweden in the losers bracket here. There's the bracket displayed for you all. That's our last losers bracket matchup of the weekend. We do also have a couple, or one more winners bracket match this weekend at 19 UTC. That'll be the United States versus Canada, followed by the semifinals map pool showcase. And our second piece of good news, as a door-to-door religious salesman, I come to bring the good news of our Lord and Savior Peppy, allowing us to purchase multiple OWC banners for all of your favorite teams this year. You can purchase them for a reduced price and get multiple of them on your profile, as our Lord and Savior intended. And in addition, our Lord and Savior has also graced us with the fact that if you do happen to have the winning team's banner on your profile, it will stay there after the World Cup is over until either you buy another banner for a World Cup of a different mode, like Catch or Taiko or Mania, or until the next OS World Cup starts. So you can potentially have the winning team's banner on your profile all year long. Go ahead and check those out in the OS store. And that is going to do it for us here. iFlame?
Yep, that'll be it for us, guys. Stay tuned for the next matches. Go get yourselves some banners. Subscribe to the Church of Peppy. And thank you, Dio, for joining me today. That'll be all, and have a good one.